Hey guys, here we are in our third video in our series of 3 flavors of dead people, and there is still one more to come. In previous videos, we discussed that each one of us through our lives accumulate various energetic attachments, and these come in the form of thought forms, servitors, energy patterns, and even revenants. They're all drawn to us through homogeneous energy and attach through subconscious permission. I know you would not willingly, consciously agree to allow any energy attachment to you, but we all do this without conscious awareness. You see, the attachment comes in a form of agreement, usually to the things that may not be in our best interest, but they come to us at a moment of weakness or in support of something that may not best benefit us. In fact, there are many, many reasons and ways that we get these attachments. And I actually might make a future video on that. If you're curious, just let me know. Let's take an extreme example of how attachments form and build up on us. This comes through addictive behaviors. Now, some of us are genetically prone to addiction. And let's say this person, she identifies as an addictive substance. And suddenly a path is laid for a life of addiction. This can come in the form of alcohol, drugs, gambling, food, sex, all sorts of addictive behaviors. Now, when this person initially engages in a potentially addictive behavior, there is a biochemical and an emotional reward for doing it, right? And this translates into the energy of the body and being. Every emotion is an energy. Every energy is an emotion. There is a dynamic connection to energy and emotion. Now, the more this person initially engages in these behaviors, the more the reward, reinforcing addiction. That's how we get sucked into addictive behaviors. Now, the more they have this behavior, the more they're seeking that initial reward, so they do more of the addiction. And eventually, the pursuit of this addiction becomes the primary cause rather than the reward received. And this is where an addictive life comes from and how we can pick up some very severe attachments, especially revenants. If a person has died completely pursuing their addiction, then the revenant will actually pursue that addiction. They're going to try to find that reward through the addictive behaviors. And guess what? In the afterlife, they might not be able to get it. So they'll go out and find a person alive that has an energy similar to their addictive pursuits that they had in life, and then they will attach. This attachment is kind of like an energetic emotional reinforcement from revenants. It becomes a state of mutual reinforcement where the attachment is seeking their energetic reward. It pushes a bit of that addiction needy energy into a person. And that person, as they're pursuing their addiction, they get their reward from it and they feed that attachment. Now, the authentic person at the core of all of their being could get hidden away under a cloak of attachments and attachment induced behaviors. Sometimes a person has so many of these attachments and so many of these revenants built up around them that that's all you know of that person. Now, when this person dies, the authentic person, the authentic soul, may actually move successfully into the afterlife. They go through some sort of a cleansing period. There's mythology galore about this. Even in the Norse tradition, there's mythology galore about removing attachments so that the authentic soul can return to their authentic state. Meanwhile, all of these attachments that has created the facade of the person that you knew actually have the ability to remain intact. And they are seeking out the pursuit of their addiction. And this is what we're going to call a shade. This shade identifies as the individual you knew. It'll even respond to their name, and it will behave the way that you knew that person did in life. But guess what? It's not that person. It's an empty facade created by energetic entities with very, very minimal programming. It's got a very small mind to it. It just has this one pursuit, and it will do everything it can to achieve the goal of its pursuit. Now, when you go into a seance situation, attempting to contact this person, you may have absolutely no idea who that person was authentically. You only knew the shade of who that person was in life. And guess what? That's what you're drawing into the seance situation. And the real danger of this is that shades can be very powerfully persuasive. They're still seeking the same vices they pursued in life, and they're not finding any reward in the spiritual realms. They need a physical host in order to receive the energy from the pursuit of their addictive behaviors. And if you are prone to those addictive behaviors, especially if you share the genetics of the person who had that addictive behavior, and you are not properly protecting yourself, or worse, you are completely unaware of this potential hazard, you could become an unwitting victim of shade attachment. So, this is why it's highly inadvisable to attempt to contact a person that you knew who had addictive or overall negative behaviors. Their actions in life may not be the result of who they were authentically. Sometimes you need to know this. Sometimes their negative behaviors are a direct reflection of who they were authentically. I'm not going to get into that one. That's some complexity. There are some people who are genuinely negative in this world. Part of the lessons in life, part of the things that they need to bring into this world. And guess what? They could actually be very high-level ascended souls bringing negativity into this world. That there's some complexity to that we're not going to get into. So, in that case, you still don't really want to contact them. So the best thing to keep in mind is that we are all susceptible to this. Every single one of us, even me. And right now, this is a good time to evaluate yourself. Do your inner working. Is the life you are living right here, right now, the projection of attachments? Or are you actually living an authentic life? Or are you living a shade's life? So that's it right now for 3 flavors of dead people. We have the revenant, which is a fractalized remnant of a soul living out a single moment in time. We have intact souls, someone who is able to keep it together after death, and then they go through a progress into the afterlife. And finally, a shade, which is a facade of the person that they became in life, but may not be who they are authentically because the intact soul moved on, and all of these pieces and parts created a new life for themselves. We do have one bonus video coming up, one more bonus flavor of dead person, and that is the recently deceased. This is a person who is kind of like a combination of all 3 of these flavors, but they have their own unique challenges, their own unique situation. Now, if you like what you've been watching, please click like and subscribe. Share this video with people that you know will benefit from this information. And if you're looking for more information and you want to stay in the loop on future releases, just follow the link in the description. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be discussing the recently deceased.